I'm proud of you. Me. No matter what it is. Not just for the charity donations or whatever, or us as a community. I mean you. I'm proud of you. Because if you're still watching this video, you're still here. Now, that might not mean a lot. You can be at the very bottom of everything. You can feel like you're in a rut. I've been at incredibly low points, and I still watched a YouTube video while doing so. But no matter what, you're still here. And that's what matters. And I'm proud of you. Now, that proudness doesn't negate the need for help. You still will need that, and that will require reaching out, no matter how deep the pit is, no matter if the pit isn't even deep, no matter if there's no pit. You can always reach out and talk about yourself, or reach out to someone and make sure they're okay. If you're doing good yourself, reach out to someone else. I'm proud of you as well. Now, not even in a parasocial way, because, look, I'm the content creator, you're the viewer, and that's what this is always going to be, right? But that's always going to be appreciated. I put together content that you appreciate. You watch it, and I appreciate you choosing to watch it. But outside of that, I chose this month to use that platform, use the relation of content creator and viewer. The month of men's mental health, Movember, I chose to use that month to raise money. And I forget now, I want to just riff, so I'm not going to edit out me finding out how much we've actually raised, because while I find it, I'll just leave that in. But we raised an astonishing number. In total, $772 so far. And you know what's... something came in my head. Because I make this video. Coming very close to the end of Movember, I make this video. But the other day, there's been a couple of days where I was like, oh, maybe I should make a video. And I think it was on the 19th. Did you know that it was Men's Mental Health Day that day? Were you aware that it was Men's Mental Health Day? Because that's what November 19th was. I didn't know. I found out at the end of the day. I forget how I even found out. But that sucks. But then I realized that, you know what? It doesn't. Because instead of that, we've got a whole month. And it's not just about this month. You know, I might grow out the beard. It's a bit of a stubble currently. It's always terrible for showing up on camera. I might regrow the beard at some point. Definitely keeping the mustache. And I may only keep the mustache. But I may not talk about it to as much consistency. But it's not just about this month. Look, you can be the very bottom of any kind of barrel, or just a never-ending pit any time of the year, and reaching out will still feel just as much, just as powerful. Reaching out will still be just as important, and I need you to remember that even this shall pass. That's the main thing. No matter what you're going through, I truly wish back when I was going through stuff that I knew that, right? Because at the time, I was like, yeah, this is the end. What are you talking about? Of course it is. Of course it is. I was wrong. That was 2020 is when that was. When I began making worse decisions, everything started falling apart, and I just sort of had no idea. It felt like I was in a bottomless, dark pit. That pit, I made it out of it. And now I'm here. Now I do what I do. I'm able to be at the place I'm at. And I'm able to do what I've done this month, but I could never have done something like this if I had not waited. If I had not, through the help of my closest friends, gotten through that time. I wouldn't have been able to do this. I wouldn't have been able to do anything. I didn't accept that even this shall pass until even this shall pass thrusted itself on me. And here we are, and I want to quickly remind you, look, reach out to someone, or reach out to someone close to you. Even if you're struggling, you can reach out, make sure others are okay, and then most importantly, reach out yourself as well. Take care of yourself. But on top of that, if you can, please do donate. I, as a goal, would love to hit $1,000 raised, because that would be insane. And it's not going to be one person who comes and chucks 200 plus. No, that $1,000 raise goal is going to be raised, if possible, by the small amounts. Whatever you can give, it goes directly to Movember. And that's why I make videos like these, to remind people that it's going on. And to also just have a bit of a chat. What can I bloody talk about? I don't know. Look after yourself, you know? I mean, people make fun of the fact that I'll talk about the gym on stream, but I'll mostly only talk about it when it comes up, and it's a part of my life. But, you know, I go to the gym, and I finally started seeing the kind of results I would have imagined I would see. I started the gym a year ago. a year. At the time, I remember looking up, oh, how long till you see results? It was like 3 months. And I was like, I don't want to wait 3 months. Now it was a year ago. So what the hell was I thinking? People live in such a now that they don't realize that time moves on. I actively use that in my decisions now. When I want to do something I don't like, when I want to experience something like that, I remember it's just gonna be the past eventually. If everything's gonna be the past eventually, just get it done with. Just sort it out. And I will say, just start. If you can, start looking after yourself. Start taking care of yourself. One other thing I did recently was for my morning routine. Now, I mean, there's so many things I could go on to with dopamine and stimulation. Scrolling, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, anything, right? I noticed that it was the way I started my day. Whatever dopamine hit I took in the morning was the same one I would chase through the day. Now, that went for any kind of activity on your phone that you can do in bed in the morning. Any of those kind of activities. No matter how high you set the bar in the morning, that's where your body's going to crave the whole day. So, stop using my phone. I'm always on call with my girlfriend, and we normally wake up on the phone together as well. So, I'll talk to her. And then I'll just tell her, yeah, no, I gotta go shower now. And then I'll go, and I won't use my phone sat on the toilet. I won't use my phone at any point, really, during the morning. Because I don't want to be craving that. And I notice now, while I'm editing, I don't look over to the side, scroll Twitter a bit more, then go back to editing anymore. I don't check my phone. I don't need to check my phone if I'm quickly going off to the toilet or whatever. Have it there. I got my business email. I got my business phone, my work phone. That one I have here, active. The other one, my girlfriend messages me, done, right? I don't need it. So that's just something that I discovered recently. I wanted to share that along. What other things are there that I could talk about? You know, I'm proud of you, by the way. If you needed to hear it again, keep going. Don't give up at all. Look, you know what? I've got a bit of a mentality in life, and it's just not being owed anything. It's a weird one. It's because I don't like when people feel owed to you, and I don't like feeling owed anything, to the point where I've been violently ill, and I'll still get up off my ass to go get something from the kitchen or whatever, and crawl back to bed, and I'll always Get told off by my mum being like, I could have done that, you could have called me, I could have done it, I could have sorted this, I could have done that, I could have done that. I do not like being entitled to someone else's actions. Ever. But what that means is I'm so much more invested in myself, for one. Two, I truly appreciate when people do things for me, because that's not something they owe me. I reiterate that. That's probably the toxic trait of it, is just being one of those people that's like, look, I might need help here, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it at all, and it's all right if you don't, and it's okay, and that's whatever. And look, it doesn't matter. I'll just do it myself, I guess. Oh, you do want to help? Oh shit! All right. That's probably the toxic part of it. But if you don't go too far with the not feeling entitled to anything, it's just it lets you appreciate what people will do for you, and it lets you build yourself into the person you want to be. It doesn't have you rely on other people. It lets you truly become a resourceful human. Now, me and my girlfriend talk about living together and things she would want to do and things I would want to do, part of the house, and that's fine, because that's someone choosing to do that for you. I would never want her to do something she didn't want to. I've talked with this about her, where she's been like, oh yeah, by the way, I really like, you know, doing the cooking or whatever, looking after you, cleaning the house, and I'm like, what you don't have to do that at all. What are you doing? You don't have to. You can do that, but you don't have to do that at all. Not only that, but even if you do, I'll help you with the cooking. I'll help you with all of it. But she's like, no, I want to. That's all it is. That's all it comes down to. I've never expressed an entitlement to that, and I never would. I would never express an entitlement to much of anything. I even felt weird being like, oh my god, 100k subs this year, because who the fuck am I to get the 100k subs? It's just whatever. Things happen. Once it lets me appreciate that she wants to do that. It lets me value that she wants to do that. And it lets me never take something like that for granted. And it lets me also still build up those skills. It lets me be a person who can push myself. Look, if I was sat here and for every glass of water I wanted, I asked someone else to get it for me, I'd be a man who couldn't get himself a glass of water. Now, I don't say be a man there in the term of like, oh, you're gonna be a man. I mean that isn't just like I'd be a person who couldn't get up and get themselves a glass of water. Some people will say, oh, but it's just convenient, if you're already going. I don't like it. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. That's just the thing I wanted to chuck in there. Become your own person, and maybe that's something you can take on. Maybe you're like, Sid, you're waffling. Sid, you're making no sense. That's dumb, actually, I think, Sid. Or, Sid, that's actually a trait of this. But, I don't know. It's like, it's just what I feel, and it's if you can take it on board, it's just a way of life adjustment where you start appreciating what people do for you. I think the only thing that's come of it that's negative is sometimes when people really help themselves to being entitled to me. It really irks me. It really irks me, because I'm such a. If I want something done, I'll do it myself. Not out of, oh well, you can't even do it. I'll be like, hey, do you want to come do this with me? If you've expressed that you want to do it, sure. But I don't like being entitled to other people. I don't like people being entitled to me, and I don't feel owed anything from other people. Meaning, I appreciate other people for what they do. Whatever. I feel like I talked myself into a loop there. But what else is there? I don't know, man. You know what? Wait your time. My audience, you guys are young, right? You guys are like I'd say 10 to 16 is probably roughly my audience. I mean, the bulk of it, right? There's obviously so many who are younger. There's obviously a bunch who are older. Often it's the older crowd that find themselves in the live stream. Often it's the younger crowd that find themselves in the videos. But I will say, wait your time. I was not confident for the whole of growing up till I was like 17. Not confident at all. I was socially awkward. I didn't know how to talk to anyone, really. I had some mates, but it was the most... Like, I remember I was kind of heartbroken at one point because I had some good mates, but we got better as mates, closer and closer, and clearly, unbeknownst to me, if that's the word, they just mentioned offhandedly, this was like year 5 where it started, year 8 when they mentioned to me, oh yeah, by the way, our teacher 4 years ago, she was actually like, oh, you should be friends with this guy, because he kind of doesn't have any friends. And I was like, damn. That's the level I was at, right? I was quiet. No one knew me. I talked about this in my first video. I was in a white area where I was in a white area and in a brown household, and obviously I have so many different things that identify me with both of those crowds. You know, one would see me as an outsider, the other would see me as an outsider. It's just sort of it's the place I'm stuck. You know, it's the place I'm stuck, and that's annoying sometimes, unable to find that kind of identity, right? Being a, what is it, second gen, something like that? I don't know. There's terms for it. I used to be Middle Eastern, but now I'm apparently South Asian, so I don't know when they changed these terms, you know? Like, give me a break. I don't... what even am I? What are you changing my terms for? But apparently I'm South Asian now. You know, at home, things weren't great. At school, things weren't great. And I didn't know what I was doing. Grew up, had a few group of mates eventually. And that eventually got refined down to 4 mates. A group of 4 mates. We'd play Fortnite all the time, or we'd chill. And that even further got refined to like 3, to like now 2, where the third comes on every now and then. And it's just sort of like... I meant... As in like... Yeah, that's what I meant. Me included in the 2, I guess. But, I still couldn't talk to people back then. I couldn't talk to a girl, let alone... Right? I couldn't talk to people, let alone a girl. But... I only had my first girlfriend at 17. I had my first anything at 17. And it was something I was worried about. I remember telling my best friend. I remember telling her, I'm really worried. Because I've never been in a relationship, the first one I'll get into might just take advantage of me and be wildly toxic. That's exactly what happened. And I didn't trust my friend. She told me, she was like, don't like her for you. She's bad. Don't do it. And I still went for it because I was an idiot. I went for it, and that was a very toxic relationship. I should have waited. Now, I came out of that relationship, and, you know, that relationship was as soon as I came into my confidence. So now, I for a couple of months, utilized said confidence. And I was in the mentality of, screw relationships. Yeah, screw them. So I just sort of... Right. But, then eventually, I sorted off that as well. I was like, God, all of this is meaningless. I was like, block, remove. None of that was... All of that was just, it was whatever. I stopped heading out. I stopped going out on the whatever. I stopped heading whatever. Then I met my girlfriend currently. And this is the girl who wants to look after me. Who I laugh with all the time, who I can make a joke about and she'll make a joke about me, who is so kind and caring, who loves me so deeply and I love her so deeply, who is easy to love. What I didn't have was someone who was easy to love. Before it was like, if it was a couple days apart, damn, time for arguments. Now it's just like, yeah, no, we're in love. That's all it is. It's not a day-to-day stressor. It's just, yeah, that's my girlfriend. I love to flaunt her. I love to show her off. She loves to show me off. I like to be a better person for her. She likes to be a better person for me, physically speaking, on both parts. It's just beautiful. And I didn't find that till I was 19 years old. And how old are you? I'll never find anyone. How old are you? Just be a decent human being. Just be Be a decent person. Get about, just don't worry about whatever else, Sort yourself out. The biggest advice I got that brought me into my confidence was it's a different close friend, a different very close friend, who her advice were just like, quoting her exact words here, not my words. It was like, oh, screw women. If they're like airing you or something, or if they're playing hard to get, no, they just don't like you, move on to the next. This was her saying that, and I was like, right, so just carry on. You're becoming attached before you've put yourself in a position to be able to be attached. Just try something, doesn't work, carry on. Or work on yourself. Take that time to work on yourself. Use that time to work on yourself. Especially from having been in that relationship with my toxic ex, I can tell you, right after that especially, and I had like a very big mentality that I would definitely stand by now still. Being a relationship isn't a necessity. It's not it just isn't. Like, I know maybe from someone who's been in relationships that might seem like, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I really want a girlfriend. It's not a necessity. To the lowest level is it a necessity. It's just appreciate friendship. Appreciate. I can't tell you how valuable the female friends that I have are, right? There's weird using female, because female's cringy to use, and then, but female friends is the only way, because it's girlfriends, it's like, it's its own thing, whatever, right? But friends who are women, right? I cannot tell you how much value they have provided in my life. And these are women who I would never be any closer with. Ever. Because that's not what that friendship is. Trust me, value that. Because they are some of the kindest friends you can have. Have your boys. Absolutely have your boys. I got my group of boys. Other mates that I have as well. There's me, Josh, Dylan, that go to car meets and whatnot. Other people will join along. A bunch of people that I know. But I will say, it's valuable to have them as friends. It's valuable to have a woman as a friend. You don't need a relationship, man. Build you. One will present itself. Even now, with my girlfriend right now, we build ourselves. The most important thing not most important, that's hyperbole, but one of the most important things is just being our own people as well. Like I mentioned, it's not a day-to-day stressor, because we have our own lives, and then we, at the end of the day, call each other, catch up, have an amazing laugh, and just continue to be in love uninterrupted. That's all it is. Trust me, you do not need a relationship. What else have I got to bloody mention, The lack of necessity when it comes to a relationship is something that can be, well, the lack of necessity can be extracted and put into a parental figure. Now, there's one saying that I definitely stand by, and that is, all kids deserve parents, but not all parents deserve kids. You can definitely be made into a type of person from your upbringing, right? Nature versus nurture, whatever. I failed psychology at school, so who cares? It was the only thing I failed, actually. But you can be made into someone from your upbringing. But to correct that is your choosing. Now, it's hard. It can be. But that's still your doing. As a guy, it's good to have a good male role model. I didn't have that growing up. I had a terrible role model. God, I don't even know if it's stuff I could talk about. A very terrible person. Did very terrible things. Now, not like, um, not like criminally violent, right? Not like criminally violent, but definitely very terrible things, and a deeply terrible person. But I live in the fact that the man I am today is a man I forged myself to be. That sounded so much more cringe before I said. That sounded like it was ripped right out of Hustlers University. But the man I am today is a man I forged myself to be. And that's valuable. Again, when there's all these terrible, speaking of Hustlers University, when there's all these terrible, terrible role models out there right now that, yes, speak some good things like mentality and mindset and whatnot, but there's just so much more value in being a good person, in making yourself a good person. Now, if you have good parents, please appreciate that fact. But if you weren't afforded that right, it's on you now. And that's scary. That's some unfortunate cards to be dealt. But it's on you to be a compassionate person now. The way I like to live my life, because I don't follow any higher scripture, I'm not religious or anything, but what I live my life by is people. I live my life by people. I don't, and this is no critique on any belief system you have, right? But just use the good of it, whether it's oh, don't cheat and steal because because of the writings that you follow, or whether it's don't cheat and steal because that's a terrible thing to do to people. Well, whichever you follow, be the best person you can on the basis of people as much as you can. Because no matter what it is, just be a convenience and don't be an inconvenience. And I don't know, now I feel like I am really rambling. What else really is there? You know what? Not much, I think. Please, if you can, do give. It's down there. Hit the big give button. There's not a big give button, but hit the whatever button. And if you can, please do give. Do I have anything else I could ramble about? You know what? I've talked about a few things today. A few of the things that I brought up at the beginning of Movember, actually. I suppose there's also, I don't know, imposter syndrome, but that's like a natural thing, right? And plus, do you really want to hear the 70,000th time a YouTuber says they have imposter syndrome? Do you really want to hear about that? Right? Whatever, right? Oh no, what? I have a platform. Oh, I feel undeserving of it. Yes, but also it's brought up so many times, right? It's a cliche at this point. It's like burnout. It's imposter syndrome is truly becoming. It's just the second YouTuber being burnt out, and that's not necessarily relatable either. Not only would I not want all of you to be YouTubers, but also I would just sort of assume that not all of you are. But you can feel imposter syndrome wherever you are. You can feel like you don't belong, but all it's about is just accepting that maybe there's a chance that you do. And now use that chance and make something of it. Make something of where you are. Rambling again. Brilliant. Okay, yeah. You know what? I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? If I had a channel where I just bloody talked about stuff, that would be alright. I was thinking about SidWaj for that, but maybe like SidWaj, chuck out like talking about stuff, whatever though. Who knows? Also, Hoonigan update got a teaser. That'll be cool. Give to the fundraiser, and please reach out. Whatever. All right. In a bit. In a